Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'm Dane.
And I'm Marcus, and this is The Cop and the Con. The purpose of this podcast is to help bridge the gap between cops and convicts.
We discuss national news, current events, and everything in between.
So, tune in, and thank you.
Let's get started.
This is our live studio audience in the background.
Side air. Underwear.
Underwear?
All right, you guys first.
Okay, yeah.
Just kidding. Love you, Mom. Anyway.
If you're just joining in, that's our peanut gallery chiming in today. It's awesome.
Well,
I love all of them, by the way.
Yeah, I love
all
you
four
all.
of you.
But today,
Welcome back. Welcome back to this beautiful, beautiful day.
what are we talking
A couple
about?
of things. I think today we're going to have a discussion about perspectives. Because there's a lot of misconception on, people.
What do you mean?
But like, I look the way I look. You know what I mean? I got tattoos head to toe. So I've been to prison. Well, I don't know about nowadays. Everybody's got a goddamn tattoo. But before, when I say before, I mean early 2000s, mid 2010s or whatever it's
2010s.
called. Yeah, them.
Tensies.
Tensies. I gotta make up my own
20s.
stuff as I go. But
In a different multiverse.
so nah. Like when I go places, like people see me, like I've told you before, but I'll tell all you, all my tattoos mean something. All my tattoos, I got all these tattoos. I got teardrop on my face. I got tattoo on the top of my head. I got tattoos on my legs, my arms, my chest, my stomach, and my back. And the reason is when you see those, they mean immediately stay away from me. I am unapproachable. Do not talk to me.
Well, I hope tattoos mean something. Like my tattoos mean something to me.
But they're
Like
different.
It means I like it.
Yeah, but your tattoos are traditional. My tattoos are straight prison tattoos. And so,
Well, hey, this one's done by my old parolee, right here.
oh, Sai.
Yeah.
Well,
so he
you-
was on my parole caseload, successfully paroled, works at a tattoo shop. I mean, I'll plug them if they want to hook me up with a tattoo.
Well, me
the
too.
White Raven.
White Raven. Look them up, check them out. I'll drop a link in the description.
My boy, who was on parole, I maintained a little bit of communication with him afterwards because I told him, I was like, hey, when you're off, I want you to do a tattoo for
Is
me.
it nonstop?
Tino.
Oh, okay. He's good.
He's
good.
He's a badass artist.
He's good.
He showed me his stuff, and that's why I told him, like, I was like, I'm gonna
I
get
hope
you
you're
off
watching.
parole. I'm gonna make sure you get off parole successfully, because I want you to do some work for me, and he did.
But it's
Anyways,
when you see somebody that looks like me, a lot of people are like, man, that dude's either done a lot of time, and it's hard for people to approach, which, like I said, they basically mean just stay the fuck away from me.
so
But-
perspective, like when you were locked up, what was the perspective of your family?
Oh, dude, I had
What was their perspective of your situation?
It's funny that you asked that because when I was in prison, when I started going to prison, I didn't have any family. Nobody.
That's kind of why you ended up there a little bit, right?
So I'll just touch on the prison shit. I won't even go into the past of what, we'll get there on another episode. But when I started in prison, like my mom, she worked for AP&P. That's adult parole and probation. She worked there for many years before I even went to prison.
Yeah.
She lived her life. I lived my life. So my mom, no phone call accepted, no visits, no money, no.
While you were locked up.
I'd get one letter every 4
She
months.
didn't put money in your books?
Nope, never. No, one time. When I first get in there, she'd give me $40 so I could get my hygiene to get started.
So you weren't indigent.
Because my mom had this fear that because of where she worked, she'd lose her job if she kept in communication with me because I'm a convict, right? Because I'm a criminal, I'm a convict, I'm a gangbanger.
Yeah.
And so she had that fear, which is a legit fear for her, but it wasn't real. It was made up in her own mind. She didn't ask her bosses. She didn't talk to anybody at AP&P. She didn't none of that shit. She just automatically assumed my son's a criminal. This is my livelihood. I don't need to fuck with him, right? Now, my sister, my aunt, my uncle, because that's all I had, my ex-wife, and my daughter, right? Every now and then I'd get a letter from my daughter because she would want, you know, her mom would be okay with her just sending me a letter like every year or so, right? It's the saddest thing in the world when mail call comes Monday through Friday and you ain't getting shit. But
week after week.
But yeah.
So their
every
perspective
week.
was it was almost like shame. Embarrassment.
That's how I thought it was. Like it was like they just left me to be. Like you put yourself there, you deal with that shit. Don't bring us them problems, right?
Yeah.
Now I know what my sister anyway was trying to do was I was giving you tough love. I'm like, that's not any love. There's no love there. Like, what are you talking about? Tough love. There was no love.
That's tough because I can see her point of view, but there's for me, especially seeing both sides of the fence.
She's married to a cop.
There's
everybody in my family is law enforcement, but me.
But there's a fine line with tough love and then also needing to be there to support someone through.
So parole hearings,
because you don't want to. I get she doesn't want to enable you.
Hey, parole hearings, nope, nobody there. Court dates, nope, nobody there. Up until the last case that I was on 8 years ago, that's when my aunt, my uncle, and my sister finally came around. And this was a year after my mom had passed away. So they stepped up and was like,
do you think
needs
there's a
this
sense of
support.
responsibility that they took on themselves when your mom
I don't know. I know my aunt feels that way sometimes. But she's always had that feeling for me. You know what I mean? Like,
well, she always looked at you like that because you spent a lot of time back and forth,
right? She tried her best with me. I didn't listen. You know what I mean? Not saying that anything that she didn't teach me didn't hold true.
Just your own hard-headedness.
I just didn't apply it until later in life.
Yeah.
Right. I did my own shit. I did what Marcus wanted. Marcus did what Marcus wanted to do, and ain't nobody telling him what he can and can't do. I don't give a shit if it's breaking the law. I don't give a shit if it's walking the narrow, straight path. Marcus does what Marcus wants to do when he wants to do it. Period. And that's how I lived my life. It got me into a train wreck, nigga.
Yeah. So towards the end, you had their perspective. Their perspective was support.
Support at the end.
So let's look at just your situation. I'm not saying this applies to everybody. That's in prison.
Trust. I'm gonna turn around and ask him these same goddamn questions.
So the situation was like the first 15
years
plus years there was no support,
nothing,
and in this last go around, you had support.
Yeah.
And then you had like a dope ass PO or whatever.
So the best PO, I'll remain nameless for right now.
Yeah, we're not gonna say his name.
His name's DP.
But no, so you had a really good situation of support.
Yeah.
And now look.
And I'm not saying that has a factor. I'm not saying it
plays a part.
I'm not saying that it doesn't help. It didn't help me. It definitely helped me at the board hearing.
Well, you didn't feel alone.
Well, no. So at the last board hearing that I had,
2016?
in 2016,
end of 2016.
The end of 2016, when I got that last board hearing, that dude told me straight up, we shouldn't give you any more chances at all. We just gave you this chance when your mom passed away. You just copped out on this case last year. And then 70 days later, you come back on some new shit?
Yeah.
Even though you beat the charge, 70 days you came back.
Your behavior is still showing.
Exactly. You're showing that repetitive criminal behavior.
Yeah.
And I said, well, here's all this that I've completed since I've been here. I'm not that same guy, right? I'm trying to convince this dude that I'm not the dude who was here last year.
Yeah.
But I have my family behind me. Wait, I have my family behind me. And he said, one thing I'm noticing different today than before is the effort you put in, and you have your family support. It looks like you have a good support system.
Yeah.
I said, yeah. He's like, you've never had, and he said it, you never had that before.
That's a better path to success.
So he said, I don't know what we're going to decide when I go back there, because they go back and they talk to the rest of the board members, right? Yeah. He's like, I don't know what they're going to say because honestly, we should give you the rest of your time, which would be 2026.
Expire.
Yeah, that's 2 years from now.
Damn.
He's like, or I'm going to recommend you get an immediate release because I believe that this will be the last time I see you. But if I ever see you again, I'm throwing
So
the book at
they
you.
chose to strike while the iron was hot.
Right.
And
'Cause he-
that ended up for you being the right call.
Right.
I can't say that the board always makes the best decisions.
Never.
But in that situation, in your situation, that was the right decision.
It was, and I'm grateful for it. I know that that was a blessing to motivate me to stay moving forward. Right. And we'll get into that stuff in another episode anyway. But perspective wise, it did.
So from your perspective, how did you feel?
I felt great. I felt great that I was finally getting, the last year of my time, I was finally getting those phone calls, those, monthly phone calls I'd get from my aunt. Mm-hmm. She'd be like, I'll just make sure that there's $10 on the account so you can call me once a month.
Yeah.
That's all I need. And then my sister, you can't call me, but I'll set up a visit, every 2 months or so. She'll come see me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There still wasn't no money on the books, but I don't need money on my books. I got to hustle.
You're not cut off anymore.
Right. I'm not cut off from my blood.
So there's that sense of appreciation because you actually have support now. There's that sense of I don't want to maybe let my family down because now they're here, they're backing me, they're supporting me. I don't want to let them down, so I need to step my game up. I need to step up my effort.
And which I did, right? But let me talk about another different type of perspective. I meet my other side of my family, my sisters, my brothers, the ones you went to school with,
Yeah.
right? Marcy and them.
Yeah.
Now, my older sister, she knew to a degree what type of person I was because of communication with my other sister,
Yeah.
Brandy, right? But the other siblings had no clue about me. They just knew that this was their son's
He's like, what, they heard about you,
illegitimate
maybe?
child, right? They knew I'd been to prison for many years. They knew I was a gang member. They knew that I was you know what I mean? So when I stepped through the doors to meet them for the first time, instant, like I could see that it was at first,
You were apprehensive.
it was just kind of standoffish, but they're barely meeting me for the first time, right? Like my older sister.
Hey, did you have your whole head shaved and like?
Oh yeah, dude. Yep. Hey, dude.
He's
Real
like-
talk. But I wore a hat. Like I had a hat on.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I wasn't trying to. I had on a polo T-shirt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's because I was going to see my dad again too after
I
17
remember
years,
that.
18
Yeah,
years,
I
right?
remember.
So, stepping in there, my perspective on that situation was like, man, these guys ain't gonna like me at all. You know what I mean? Like a couple of them stayed. We shook hands and all that other stuff. But like my older sister,
you came with a lot of
my
baggage, a lot of history.
oh, for real, dude. I'm not. I'm not the type of person that is accepted by a lot of people.
You're not used to that.
A lot of people ain't used to it.
Yeah.
And I still go through that stuff. I still deal with that, right?
Yeah.
But with my siblings, and I'll tell you right now, man, like every one of them, like not just my sister Brandy, you know what I'm saying? The one I was raised with. My sister Andrea, my brother Brett. And I'm giving you all shout outs today. My brother Brett, my brother Steven, my sister Marcy. They're legit, like they're huge inspiration for me.
Yeah.
Because they're so successful in every field that they're in.
Sure.
In all the fields that they're in, they're super successful. And to me, I'm like, damn, I come from that.
Yeah.
Like we come from the same nuts.
stock.
You know what I'm saying? We come from the same nuts.
Yeah.
I could do that too. I just detoured for a little while.
Sure.
But my perspective when I first met them was like, man, these guys ain't gonna like me at all.
Yeah.
But I wasn't the same person I was 5 years prior
Or even a year prior.
or even a year prior, right? So 2 years. So to me, it was like, now I'm meeting these people. We're new to each other.
Yeah.
I look the way I look. They look the way they look. I dress a certain type of way. They dress business casual, right? But I'm going to show these people not only are we blood related, but we're the same people.
Yeah.
And I have.
You still have the same
And-
core values, the
exactly,
same core
exactly.
teachings,
And
foundation.
these four individuals, I swear to God, bro, these four people have been so much of a blessing for me, and so much of what I've been missing my whole life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't have, like I told you, I had my sister till she dipped,
but mostly by yourself.
but mostly by myself. I didn't have other siblings. I have smaller kids, younger siblings. I didn't have any of that stuff. It was just me and out there.
So
But now that I have all of them, now that I have all of them, dude, they drive me. You know what I'm saying?
How does that make you feel to finally have that missing piece as far as family is concerned?
Complete. I feel complete because I know who my siblings are. I know who my dad is.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, my pops. He passed away, 4 years ago. But rest in peace, my pops. But we built I forgave everything from that nigga.
Yeah.
Everything that I had animosity and build
I remember
up.
you when you told me you were going to meet him again, and you were nervous, you were upset, you had
I swore on every holy piece of paper my entire life from 16 up that I was going to beat this nigga to a bloody pulp next time I see him because of the last conversation we had.
Yeah.
And that's where my mindset was until I seen him. And then I was like, because I had changed how I view things.
Well, you changed overall.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, I can't change what happened yesterday.
Yeah.
I can't change what he did. This nigga took care of his real family. I can't fault him for that. Like I told you a while ago, man, he's my dad, but he was one of them dudes that just busted a nut, cut, and left the nigga stuck, right? Because as soon as he found out my mom was pregnant, he dipped out, went back to his real wife.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't fault him for his mistakes. So when I seen him again, all is forgiven, bro. Let's just build a relationship from here forward.
You guys end up getting close, right?
Really close, man. Like, dude, I'd see that dude every week. Every week.
Yeah.
We go have lunch. Thanks to my sister Andrea. Props to Andrea. We would always, the whole family would get together. Minus my brother Brett sometimes because he lived in Cedar City at the time. Sure. You know what I'm saying? Now he lives in Florida. Lucky bastard. But,
so your perspective changed tremendously. And having your family there for you
was a big it's still motivating for me.
And it's keeping you on this path.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because not only you're no longer alone, you have quite a few people there.
Well, now I have new family. I got two sisters over there. I got an auntie right there. I got a brother over here on the couch playing on his phone. And I got my brother sitting right next to me. So I have my family has expanded tremendously. Maybe he's asleep. But my family has expanded tremendously since I've made this change. And like I said before in a previous podcast, that's the secret sauce, and you don't have to pay for that shit. But nah, man, I mean, yeah, my perspective overall has changed dramatically because now I have things that I value. I have people that I value. None of these mean anything. The connections, right? Those are what I value.
Yeah.
And those are what keeps me grounded because I have my heroes. I have my hero, but I have my heroes in all five of my siblings.
Yeah.
From Brandy, Andrea's the oldest. So Andrea, Brandy, Brett, Stephen, Marcy, all five of my siblings are my heroes. These people keep me motivated to do better, keep me motivated to stay straight because I value how they feel about me.
So,
because it used to be give up what you feel about me, dude. I feel great about me. I don't care how you feel, but now I do.
Well, and you made even more of a point that I wanted to talk about, and I want to stop you right there. You've touched on a ton of really, really great points.
Don't smoke vapes. They're bad for you. Don't smoke. Just don't smoke. Don't judge me because I'm smoking. I smoke this. Don't anybody else smoke this shit.
But I want to
have a problem.
I want to recap on what you said. You touched on a lot of stuff.
Sorry.
Like that was that whole 5-10 minutes right there. That was loaded. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't want to interrupt you,
Nah, you're good, brother.
but like I want to touch base on.
We got our audience
Overall.
saying, we got our audience. What do you mean you didn't want to interrupt? You interrupt
No, I
each
didn't want to
other
interrupt. You were on a
constantly.
roll. I know. I could tell you were feeling it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It really meant a lot to you.
Yeah.
You know,
Because it's real.
And we don't talk about that a ton.
Ever.
And so I wanted to let you go. But the thing is, this
love
whole
you, bro.
episode,
I love you, bro.
this whole episode was on like perspectives on what we were dealing with, like outside perspectives looking at us, me in law enforcement, Marcus as being an ex-con, in and out of prison. But you kind of flipped the script a little bit, and I'm glad you did.
Sorry.
No, I'm glad you did. But you flipped the script on your perspective, on your life, and honestly, you touch base on why you were going through what you're going through, and why you're experiencing what you're experiencing now. You even just said it right before I started talking. Before, it was like, I don't give a damn what you say. Marcus is going to do what Marcus wants to do. Even if you're my auntie, my uncle, and you love me dearly, and you're
Doesn't
giving me
matter.
sound advice, it doesn't matter. That was your perspective.
Yep.
And your perspective now is, I love the people that are close to me. I love the people that are here to support me. I'm also going to support them. The things that are important to me have changed. My priorities are different. And look at the difference in your life.
Exactly.
Look at how you were before. Look at what you had to go through. Look at what you put yourself through.
Yeah.
And look at what you're putting yourself through now.
Right.
That's because you changed your perspective.
Yeah.
You totally changed everything.
Had to.
But it was all under your control.
True.
You know what I
but
mean?
like I told you before, there's a lot of other factors that played into that,
Yeah.
right? Like you said, when I was telling you about, when I got the support, finally I got the family support at the end
Yeah.
of my prison stint, it was, I had that comfort. When I was going through parole, you could fight me all day if you want to, but I had you for support. I don't think I would have made it to where I'm at.
Look, you still changed your perspective. I've had a ton of guys on parole. Probably a few hundred on parole in my time. Excuse me. And I could always tell the difference between the guys that really meant what they said and the guys that were just saying what they knew I wanted to hear.
Yeah, lip service.
It was because of your perspective. So I didn't want to like dwell on that too much. I just wanted to like highlight like your life changed because your perspective changed.
Yeah.
Your priorities changed.
How-
What's important to you changed.
Can I ask you a question?
Just one.
Just one? I'm going to ask you several all at once. I'm going to get all of my opinion out before you have a chance to talk because I feel really passionate about it, and I want you to hear it all before you have a chance to respond. No. No, so as being in law enforcement and being you've been a detective, you've been a patrol officer, you've been a PO, you've been a CO, and you've been in law enforcement for decades. What's that like for you? Because I see how people, especially nowadays, treat police officers. Defund the police, F the police. I mean, not every cop is the same. That's why when people ask me, like, how are you even friends with a cop? I'm like, because I'm not friends with a cop. I'm friends with Dane. He just happens to be a cop.
Sure. Yeah. No, and I appreciate, and I can't say enough how much I appreciate you not labeling me and not categorizing me as like, oh, he's a cop.
No.
It's like, because that's what I do.
Yeah, that's your job.
You know, I'm great at it. I've done it for a long time, but that's not who I am.
But so being an officer, like I know most officers don't have Facebook. They don't have Instagram, Twitter, and all that other bullshit, right? For safety issues, safety reasons.
Yes.
Because, Facebook, shout out Facebook, because I guess it brought a lot of people together. I think it's fucking ridiculous, but Facebook, like literally, if you're on there, it shows your last known location. Like you could, if you're friends with somebody, or their last check-ins, locations, wherever
It
they
gives
stop.
out a lot of
A
information.
lot of data, right?
Yeah.
So being a police officer, how is that, like, how has your perspective changed on your views with the community?
So I feel like,
I got to sit back because my back hurts.
yeah, I feel like I have
super fat.
a unique point of view, and I started off at the prison.
Yeah.
Okay. And so being hated for being a cop was normal. You
But
know
how
what I mean?
did that change how did that make you look at, because you're Samoan, right? So just even our community, just the Polynesian community doesn't have a very good receiving end.
When I started,
Right.
I think I could count on one hand how many Polynesians were in law enforcement, all the way back in 08.
LT Wolfgram, love that dude.
Yeah, and
That's my dude. I love
and
that guy.
so I knew more individuals who were involved with gangs or criminal activity than I knew. I mean, it was like 3 to 1.
And so when you have your family members that are gang members, they mob style, right? And then you become a police officer.
So the
What'd that look
the
like?
people I knew within my immediate circle, I never.
Did you hide it? I
No,
don't feel like you
no.
had to hide
I
it.
never
You
hid
had
it.
the aura of somebody like me. I'm doing this. I don't care what you feel about it.
Yes, I'm not going to rub it in anyone's face, but I'm not going to shy away from it either.
True.
You know, but the guys in my immediate circle, and I won't name names.
Don't have to. They know who they
But
are. You know who the
can't.
fuck you are.
You know who you are, and I can't say enough how much I love and appreciate them, because even though we got into what we got into growing up, when I ran into them and I was a correctional officer and they were in prison, they never ever put me in any kind of situation that would make
Hurt you
me look bad,
or hurt you.
or they never asked me for anything. No special privileges, no nothing. You know what I mean? And in fact, I can't say I know for a fact, but I feel pretty confident that I know whenever I was in the same facility as them, they looked out for me.
For real.
You know what I mean?
For real. Because we protect our own, right?
Yeah.
But have you ever done...
So
have
you know
ever,
who you are. I love you. I always love you.
F-bomb, nigga. F-bomb. No. There's two people that we both know, right? One's a gang member, one's a officer. They're brothers. And for him to be... were you ever in that type of situation? Like, you know exactly who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
To where that nigga had to change his last name just so he could work
Well,
because of who his family was.
That's one of the individuals who I love and appreciate.
Right.
Because we were in the same facility at one point, and I can't say he like never ever
Impeded
put me
on
in
that?
a situation, a compromising situation, and he never ever. I'm almost positive he made sure no one else put me in that situation.
1,000%. 1,000%. Like, that dude's untouchable. Leave him alone. Because we've done that too to other officers.
And like I said, I'm not going to say his name or his brother's name. I love them both.
Me too.
I looked up to his older brother who was a correctional officer. I looked up to him, and
Good
I
dude,
appreciated
honestly.
the younger brother. And just so you know, he's out doing great.
Oh, I know.
You know what I
do
mean?
know. I know
Ever
that.
since he paroled, he stayed out. So he's been out. I
Let's
think he
get
got
him
out
on the podcast.
right before you did, like maybe a year or two.
Let's get him on the podcast.
We'll have to see
I'll
if we
reach
can
out.
make that happen.
I'll reach out.
You know what I mean? But yeah. So I was never put in a compromising situation, and I think
Send it to Christina. I'm talking to the audience today. Sorry, Dane.
no, you're good. But yeah, so I can't say enough how much I appreciate them and love them because they respected my choice, who I was. And I respected them. You know, I was there to support them at their board hearings before I was a correctional officer. So
That's
I
tight.
came down the year before, came to all their board hearings, you know, to show my love and support for them because we grew up together, you know, and
See, and that's a type of love. That's a type of love that doesn't come often, and it really don't.
yeah,
So like when you see people at board hearings, I've been to a lot.
yeah.
A lot of people, man, they're like, they don't have support.
Yeah.
They don't. Like my brother that's going through it right now.
Oh, trust me. Yeah, I worked the board like security a few times. And more often than not, these dudes are in their room by themselves.
Yeah, I had to, because of.
Or if someone shows up, it's their victim.
Yeah, that's a rough one. That
Yeah.
victim impact statement shit's
Yeah.
real. Excuse me. But what I'm saying, sorry about that, but what I mean is like, how is your perspective?
So for me, I'm like you, I'm going to do what I know is right. And whether you agree with it or not, whatever your opinion is, I don't care. If your opinion is negative, I
Yeah.
don't care.
Yeah.
I'm not going to fight you for it. I'm not going to, push back. That's your opinion. I don't give a damn what your opinion is.
Yeah.
If your opinion's positive and supportive, I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah.
But coming up through the prison, through AP&P, I worked with guys that hated cops.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So for me, when all this stuff went down, when the Floyd thing went down and then there was like a bunch of riots throughout,
Yep.
the United States.
In downtown.
When everybody's like, defund the police, F the police. I was like, this ain't nothing new to me. I was like, these dudes in the prison have been talking shit about me and my family since I started in 08.
Yep.
If you heard some of the things that they said and threatened to my family, that makes all this defund the police stuff like PG.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so for me, like, I just grew thick skin because I knew I'm working with a clientele that hates me and doesn't care if I live or die. So all this riot stuff, all this, all cops are bastards, all this stuff, like, I don't care.
See, and that's
That's not going to change the way I handle my business or do my job to serve my community.
I have opinions about that, right? And we've talked about it.
Yeah.
Where, all the stuff that happened and where a lot of the community was on that F the police stuff, right?
Yeah.
To where I'm telling my nephews and my grandkids, that's right, I got grandkids, my grandkids, my kids, and I'm having to tell these people, like, look, those cops that did that, that's them.
That's dirty.
I said, not all cops are like that.
Not even close.
I said, I know a few police officers that would literally put their life on the line before you get hurt. That's why they have that job.
Absolutely.
They're the defense line between crime and you. And if you're in a situation, never thought I was going to say this on camera. If you're ever in a situation and you don't feel safe and you feel like there's going to be an issue or there's going to be a problem, call the fucking police. They're only there to help you.
Perspective.
Right? I never felt that way before. I've had incidents with police where I should hate police,
Look,
but I don't because I know
I'm going to say this.
had that problem.
No one in any field, no position, any field is 100% all good.
True.
Okay.
I deal with that shit
There's
at
going to
work.
be, no matter where you go.
I deal with
no
that shit in my job
No matter where you
right
go,
now.
whether you work at a restaurant, whether you work at an airline, whether you work at a factory, whether you work for Amazon, there's going to be,
Caltech, baby.
more often
No.
than not, there's going to be employees that are great. They're just going to get to work. They're going to do what they're supposed to do, and then they're going to go home. That's how it is for most positions.
Right.
But there are those individuals in every position.
Power
it just stands
trippers.
out more with police officers.
We call them power trippers. Because in prison, you have some officers that are chill as fuck. They do what you want to do. This is your life. You live here. I'm just visiting.
Yeah.
Then you have some officers where it's their main goal in life to make whatever you're doing the most miserable time you can ever do.
I've seen it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you about who it is after, one of them for sure, which is crazy because his whole family is fucking tweakers and criminals.
I might have a...
But his whole goal in life is to jam you up, mess you up, mess up
Get
your
you
shit,
slipping.
and make your time that much harder. But you also have officers like Coates. He's there to help you
That's my dude. man.
rehabilitate and go back home.
Matt Coates, man. Shout out Matt Coates.
That's my mother effing boy, dude.
That's my dude.
I got so much love for Coates. I fished him in. We fished in the same time.
He was one of my FTOs when I came through.
2002, we fished in the same time, bro.
Yeah.
And me and him had a good rapport,
Yeah.
like how we started out. him and I had the same rapport. And I was one of
the things I noticed from him real quick when I first started, when he was training me, was that he was just always keeping it straight with everybody, with
100,
the offenders.
all the way across the board.
He didn't make any excuses. He didn't lie. If it was good news, bad news, he just gave it to you straight.
Yep.
You knew what you're going to get from Coates.
I had him on A East. I went and got.
He was A East when I started too.
So
yeah.
I got moved to A East, and luckily I moved off of Baker Block, moved to A East because it's the honor dorm.
Yeah.
I'm over there. I'm doing good, but I kept getting caught slipping on other tiers because I'd go to other tiers to hang out with dudes.
Yeah.
If you're on one tier, you can't go to another tier, right? We're almost there, but one tier can't go to another tier. And he had to keep telling me, dude, stop doing that.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, I have to start writing C notes when you do it. If I catch you, I'm like, nah, we're good. Don't even trip. I'll stop. But I didn't stop. I was retarded. So I think he gave me 3 C notes in a week. He's like, dude, you got to roll up. I'm like, fuck you talking about? He's like, you got to roll up, dude. I'm sorry, bro. He's like, look, Marcus, I've told you time and time and time again, stop going up to his cell. Stop going up to that tier. I was going out to hang out with my boy, you know what I mean? He'd get off work. We'd go sit up there and just bullshit out in front of his house instead of downstairs at the table, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so he's like, I told you time and time again, now I'm rolling you up. He's like, but I'm only sending you to Baker Block. I'm not sending you back to the Okers. You can just go chill on Baker Block. Bet. He's like, most of your boys are already over there anyway.
Yeah.
I know, I see him all wrecked, you know what I mean? I understand he had a job to do. I wasn't mad at that dude for that. But then you had those one people who take that as you're attacking me. Like, why, nigga? Like, you broke the rules. You knew what to do.
Yeah. No, and that's what I'm saying. Like, that's my point is.
This went off on a tangent.
A little bit, but that's okay.
We're having a good conversation.
But like, at the end of the day, everyone can have their opinion. I don't care. You have every right to feel like, you hate cops. That's fine. That's not going to bother me. I don't care. If you love police and law enforcement, I appreciate it. Thank you.
I don't love them.
I'm doing my best every day, day in and day out. And you can talk to Marcus. He knows how much I work, that I'm trying to serve the community best I can. And so I appreciate it. But at the end of the day, like I said, whatever your opinion is, it's not going to affect how hard I work to serve the community.
True. I don't love the police, but I respect their position. That makes sense? Because I know there's those guys. I know there's
you
still
don't need,
those
You don't need
guys.
to love the police. Just love me.
I always love you, nigga. You're not the police to me, though.
That's and that comes back full circle. You know what I mean? So like, anyways, it's whatever you're going through, whatever your situation is, whatever your current circumstances, it's all perspective. If you're going to have a negative perspective or choose to deal with negative perspectives in a bad way, it's going to be harder for you.
Yeah, you're only making your life harder.
Like, who cares what people say about you? Who cares?
I used to.
You know what I'm saying? You know how many times people have said something negative about me to me as a cop wearing my uniform?
Yeah.
I couldn't.
But you couldn't react, though.
Of course I can.
You could have.
I could. I can absolutely react. I can speak my mind, but the thing is, I choose not to because it doesn't matter. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
So is it worth it to go knock this dude out because he said, fuck the police? I don't care, dude. You know what I mean?
No, I feel you.
I don't care.
I feel you.
Say what you want to say. Think what you want to think.
I care a lot.
So, but if you said that, no, I'm just kidding.
I would never say that. I would never say F the police unless I'm
moral of the
singing a
story,
song.
folks, is fix your attitude, okay?
Nah, man, just
Fix your
change.
attitude.
Change. If you're going to change, then change for the better. Don't hold on to shit you can't change from the past because it's
Or in
only
the present.
or in the present. If you can't change it, don't worry about it. If you can't let go of things from your past, I promise you,
eat you alive.
I promise you,
gonna
your
eat you
future is
alive.
only going to be miserable because you're carrying all that baggage with you. And if you're carrying baggage with you, it's only weighing you down. If you could let it go, then let it go. Because you can't, like that shit with my pops, man. I couldn't change anything that he did. All I could do was say, you know what, let's build from here. Same with my siblings. I don't know you guys. You don't know me from a can of paint. But you know what? We're family. Let's build a life.
And just let it go.
And let all the rest go.
And let it flow. And
But
on that note,
shouts out to all of our family members that are
on
here.
that note, we're gonna let you guys go.
We love you.
Come back next week.
Dude, I'm telling you, subscribe, like,
Comment.
share,
Please comment. We read the comments.
I read them every day.
And we're even talking about the text message comments that we get.
We get, dude, stop texting me. The time it takes for you to text me a comment, you could have put it in the comments. I need
we
those.
appreciate it. We appreciate
we
it,
love
guys.
you.
We love you. We'll see you next time.
Deuces. But nah, man. So